All stations this net, all stations this net. This is Boxer 6 from XCOM World Headquarters. Stand by for the next message. Welcome back to the campaign to liberate Earth. We rejoin XCOM after their first visit to an alien base. Did not go particularly poorly, nor did it go particularly well. What we did manage to accomplish was hitting a base and hitting it hard. What we did not succeed in doing is escaping without casualties. Suffered 3 casualties this mission, our worst performance ever. But we did come away with a big chunk of change, and now I need to invest that wisely. One of the first things I've got to do is build more living quarters, and we'll go ahead and build a second workshop so that I may maximize production. Leaves me with a couple $1,000,000, and that tells me that it may be time to in fact build a new base. Ideally, I'd like to build this base in Europe. Normally I can expand to Central America. There's not a lot of activity, or at least to defend Europe. What I'm probably going to end up doing is building it instead in a tactically interesting location, North Africa. It doesn't give me any money for doing that, but it is slightly, substantially cheaper if I were to compare that to, say, Europe. And that allows me to build a base, and we will call it CENTCOM. Not an original name, I admit. And the 2 things we build are the hangar, and because this is going to be an offensive base, we're going to put troops there. Now we're going to collect the alien grenades, and then I've got a decision to make whether I want to go after the blaster or I want to go after the navigator. I'm going to go after the navigator first because that's going to allow us to research something incredibly useful, and it won't take very long. And we're still manufacturing that, so I'm going to go ahead and equip these new grenades, which are very nasty things. But can be very tricky to handle, especially with mind control, because the grenades are so powerful you can hurt your own people. If a person's carrying a live grenade and they panic, they're liable to drop it and kill themselves. Oh, we have a large visitor. Hello, large visitor. Go ahead and make sure that my Skyranger is ready to play. Not really. So I'm going to equip towards the front of the craft in order to guarantee that the guys that step off have the right stuff. Maxed out on plasma rifles. And we have grenades, 1 each. Tracking lost? How is that possible? Did he just disappear? You know what I think this is? I think this is the visitors from Africa. Or Australia, rather. Alien base. Insectoids and hyperwave decoder. I can't tell you how important the hyperwave decoder is because it makes my radar obsolete, and it also tells me what the alien ship is, who is flying it, what race that is, and what they're up to. What I'm going to do now is go see what the heck the aliens were up to in Australia. At least I think that's where they were heading. Yes, they were. We have found base number 2. month comes to an end with us barely in the positive after that last mission. Are you kidding me? A terror mission in the Philippines or Indonesia. Well, it could not come at a worse time given that I am refueling. So I am forced to delay. It's going to virtually guarantee that this mission happens in the dark. Well, we're going to try. I don't think we're going to get there before it gets dark, but we are going to try. Russia is no longer unhappy. They gave us a good score. And we have $2 million in cash to work with. I'm not sure in what way to expand. I'm actually really just worried about this mission. We are going to get there in daylight. Thank goodness. So here we are at our third Terra mission in Indonesia. Almost fully equipped with power suits. We should have a fantastically fast loadout. I'll reserve a couple grenades for my chuckers. And I will re-equip my chuckers. Well, looks like I only have one chucker. We'll re-equip our one chucker then with the plasma rifle. That's that. Playing for keeps. My goodness. This is an ugly state of affairs. There's only one way to resolve it. Hot plasma and lots of it. Actually, that guy's a stunner. So what I want to do is take him down because he's looking in our direction. See you firing, but your retaliation is weak. Weak, I say. Wonder if we can get a snapshot at this. Would be nice. I've got to risk Paul. Because if I can take this out, it's probably going to take down that other sectoid right next to him. Yeah. Blow up. Gotcha. All right. This has been a very intense opening sequence. Sectoids to the left, sectoids to the right, and the bottom of the map. I don't even know if I'm at the bottom of the map. Got a road to my right. Oh, we are dead center of the map. And Paul is in a bit of trouble here. Gonna need a little help. Gotcha. Are there any more aliens about? So it seems we are in not quite the center of the map, but we are not anywhere near an edge. The only protective shelter we have are these buildings here and here. There's probably an alien on the other side here that I cannot see, vicinity of there. So I will plan accordingly. Paul Taylor, please step out of the craft. Maybe look in that direction. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to this space here, beside the Ranger, and get into cover. Yeah. All right, bail out, bail out, bail out. And my thrower, I'm going to leave more towards the middle. I'm not sure which way I want him to go. Probably eventually to the end of the buildings, these two houses here, so he can get a chance to throw into open space. That's where he's best supportive. And my bailout also works the same way. I don't want to crowd, but at the same time I want to be as far away from the possibility of the aliens throwing a grenade. For the sake of balance, we're going to go and work the edge of the street here in just a second. I don't anticipate there's going to be any more bad guys here. Goodness knows there were a lot of them at the start of the mission. I'm going to move the two of you to the end of the ramp, because if a grenade does show up, there's no helping you. So here's my deployment. It was a pretty vicious fight at the start. Let's see what the aliens got for me. That's a shot from the other side of the buildings. Takes down a civilian. And there was no alien at the door. And we're into civilian movement. We must have hit him pretty good. That civilian's going to get in the way, isn't she? Or is it a he? I can't tell. What's the name of this town again? Androgyny?